Hey guys, Tony here, and I'm here to answer Fred Big Star 1000's thread on record 2011 record obsessions. So, not necessarily a list of 10 records that were released in 2011, because, thank God, because, yes, I have a bunch of records that were released in 2011, but were they the ones I listened to most? Usually not. Um, there were definitely a few, but for the most part, alright, let's start from the beginning here. 2011 for me, I will consider part of 2010, but really this past year, 2011, has been, as you guys know, watching my videos, if you watch them and listen to me and everything, you'll know that 2011 was like a musical awakening sort of year for me. It was profound. And you guys know, to try and list the number of bands and artists that I've really gotten into in this past year. Um, it's hard. Not only is it hard to really, you know, digest all that music and get it all, you know, and dig deeper into certain artists and things like that. Like I feel like I've scratched a lot of surfaces, um, but it's been profound. It really has. It's been fantastic. And mostly I have you guys to thank for that, as you know. So, yeah, most stuff. I'm going back to like 1960s and 70s and 80s. I've always tended to sort of gravitate towards older music. I don't know why. It's always been that way. Even there are a lot of bands I've liked for years, but didn't like them till later on. It's weird. So that's just the way I am. I've always gravitated towards older music. But anyway, I'm kind of going off here. Um, so yeah, there's a lot of records I've gotten into, a lot of bands I've gotten into, and it was really hard narrowing it down to 10. The top five, actually, I was able to name pretty quickly, but the other five were impossible. So I have a wall of honorable mentions, I should say. Now, one other thing I should make clear is that obsession, the word obsession to me, um, is, immediately you think of it as an immense loving or liking, you know what I mean? Which, I guess kind of the definition is, but obsession to me isn't healthy, you know what I mean? So, not only like a lot of these records, yes, I was obsessed with. I love them. Listen to them the most. That's what I kind of went for. What I listened to the most. But not only that, the albums that I obsessed over, meaning I may not have even liked them for a while. But I spent time thinking about these records and like digging into them a little bit, reading about them, things like that. So there's some like that in here too. But you'll see. I guess as I get into them, you'll see that. Quick mention too, Fred. While I'm here, um, I, one of the winners of his contest, the Serge Gainsbourg contest, and man, this compilation, man, is fantastic. This has been in constant rotation in my car. Um, it's funny because my brakes on my car kind of went like beginning of the week really bad. Like they just seemed to go really fast. So I couldn't fix them until yesterday. So I had to borrow my in-laws' car, which is kind of their spare car in a way. So it's like this beat up Saturn. It's a little Saturn. I'm driving around this thing. It's like it's a car like that, and I just had this blasting in that car all week. So it's funny, like just one of those things when there's something different in the music you're listening to associate when you think about that. Um, and it was just a few days, but anyway. Um, but yeah, I've been listening to this constantly, and it is fantastic. What a talent this guy is, and it doesn't even matter that I don't understand the lyrics. It doesn't at all. As you guys know, if you listen to music from all over the world, it's just genius. This guy, it's unbelievable how his career progresses and what he gets into. It's awesome stuff. And there wasn't much on here that I didn't like. So thank you so much, Fred. 2 disc set. retrospective. You guys have seen it. Mr. Iceberg, The Intoxicated Man. Very, very awesome stuff. So thank you, Fred. And also Derek CD. Love this as well, man. I really do. Especially tracks, I think, 4, 5, and 6. Love them. And also 9, I think it is. The one that rocks more, like, has, I think there's a little bit of vocal in there. But the whole thing is fantastic. And I got number 5 of 25. You're not going to be able to see it. But very, very cool. Glad I got this. And yes, I would definitely buy this on vinyl, Derek. So, alright. I'll start with my honorable mentions. I could have kept going, but these are my honorable mentions. So, excuse the shakiness of this camera. Alright, so I'll start right here, why not? This is in no particular order, really. But Smile, the Beach Boys. Really beautiful, beautiful, awesome record. Check it out, really. Love it. So glad it came out, and it's really well done. But yeah, let me move the light here. Alright, Nick Drake, 5 Leaves Left. Classic. Awesome, awesome record. Moo, their debut album, their first album, it's awesome. Just excellent stuff. Down here, Brian Eno, Drums Between the Bells. I love this album. It's fantastic. At first, when it came out, I was like, yeah, there's the spoken words, but the music is awesome. So I was a little bit on the fence about it overall. But man, the spoken word part, it just, after listening to it a couple times, it's like, this is just so good, you know? But yeah, very, very good record. Can, Soon Over Babaluma. Excellent record. One of my favorite Can records by far. Of course, I mean, it doesn't compare with Future Days, Tago Mago, Ejibamiasi, but still a fantastic record. Tom Waits' new one, Bad As Me. Just classic Tom Waits, really, and it's fantastic. Robert Wyatt, Rock Bottom. Ugh, what a great record. Just awesome. Olivia Tremor Control, Dusk at Cubis Castle. So glad I got into this band. It's a psychedelic masterpiece. It really is. Fever Ray, another just fantastic electronic record. Just awesome, really. Earth, a new record. Here's one from this year. Angels of Darkness, Demons of Light 2. Or, I'm sorry, 1. I can't wait for part 2. And I saw Earth this year, which was just a phenomenal show. And an awesome record by them. Embryo, Father, Son, Holy Ghost. Just a krautrock, like jazzy kind of krautrock. Awesome, awesome album. Another krautrock, on Duel 2. Dance of the Lemmings. You know, I was going to pull Yeti, but really, I listened to this album more in the short time that I've had it. So, this is a masterpiece. So, Boris, Feedbacker. Again, like a doomy, droney, awesome. To me, this is like Boris kind of doing sort of what Earth does. You know what I mean? So, it's along those lines. It's basically, I guess, 1 long track or 2 long tracks. Probably, I don't know if it's 1 or 2. I can't think of it right now. But it's like a musical journey. It's fantastic. It's beautiful and frightening and everything in between. It's just a great record. And Smog, Bill Callahan. A River Ain't Too Much to Love. Great, great, great album. His writing. This is the album that really convinced me of his writing ability. Just fantastic. So, okay, so those are my honorable mentions. Now back to my picks. Ooh, it's a little dark. Hold on, give me a minute here. Alright. Hopefully. So, I'm going to run through these quick so this video isn't take forever. This is the year, really, I got into Yo La Tengo. Really, thanks to Dan in Canada. And also, I gotta say, Mike, Bostonian Reggie, we talked about this band a little bit. We both got into them, so, at the same time, so, cool. So I picked Painful. I would have picked, I Can Hear the Heartbeat as one, but to be honest, I went to this record more. Something about this album. The guitar on here, it's just an awesome, beautiful record. And from 1993, this is the reissue from this year. Great band. There's a lot. They have a lot of albums, but this is the handful that I bought this year and listened to. I love. So I'm looking forward to digging more into their catalog. Another band I got into this year, and while I got this album recently, I've been listening to it for a little while now on digitally. Awesome record. It's one of those too. It seems like this genre in general, you gotta listen to it, an album, for a little while before it sinks in. You get the nuances of everything, and just get used to it. I guess it's Portishead, Dummy, their debut, and man, what a record this is. A near perfect record. There's nothing, I can't fault this record one bit. I mean, it's so good. So really glad to get this. Alright, so here's one that I obsessed over. I mean, I obsessed over all of these, but this was a true obsession because this is one I heard about, legendary kind of album, and I kind of was like, alright, I'm gonna get this. There's no way I'm not gonna like this album. So I just bought the vinyl. The vinyl isn't that easy to get, but I tracked a copy down at a really good price, and My Bloody Valentine's, Loveless. Now, as you may know, when I bought this album, it came in the mail. I put it on, and I was like, I don't know how I feel about that. Like, I figured I would just love it right away, but it was like, I don't know. I just didn't really get it, I guess. I wasn't digging where they were. I don't know. There was something about it that I was just like, and I said at the time too, it was like I had this expectation, and that was my mistake. But after listening to it quite a bit, and I downloaded it too to listen to it on my iPod. Yeah, this is a masterpiece of a record. Just the sounds of this record, it's just unbelievable, and it's such a beautiful record. Awesome stuff. So this is definitely an obsession. Here's one that again, Dan in Canada. This was on his 2011 list, and I bought it pretty much right after he talked about it. And this blew me away. I mean, right away. And I've been listening to it quite a bit, and I listened to it, a number of times since I've gotten it, and I highly recommend checking this out if you haven't. It's just one of those albums that's it's just so good. So, the band Oh Death. It's a very dark cover. I'm sure the sleeve doesn't help. The band Oh Death, and I don't know if this is their second. It's got a split up here. It really bugs me. But Oh Death, and this is, I want to say they're either their second or third LP, Outside, from 2011, and this is just a fantastic record. It's basically folk, but it's very dark. A lot of banjo, but it's done so well. It's very, very like catchy but dark at the same time, and kind of slightly frightening. But it's brilliant, and I highly recommend checking it out. Oh Death, Outside, great record. One again, I gotta thank Dan for because it's fantastic. All right, moving on. I'm cheating a little bit here, and I am going to count these as one because I got them at the same time, really, within a couple weeks of each other. Talk Talk, Laughing Stock, and Spirit of Eden. I mean, you guys know these records are just they're works of art unto themselves. I mean, just it's fantastic. Basically edited performances, and it's like this collage. I guess people call it post-rock, but I'm not convinced of that title. I don't know what else to describe, else to describe it, but it's awesome, haunting, beautiful stuff. You guys know, I mean, if you don't know these records, check them out. Alright, here's one. I can't remember if I bought this year or the end of last year. It was probably this year. Classic, Tago Mago by Can. And man, this record I've played to death this year. It is just a work of art. Both albums, I've said this before too. The second LP is definitely more experimental. while the first LP kind of tends to be more song structured, more melodic, more melody based songs, while the second one is more experimental. The second LP, man, give it a chance. Keep spinning it, listen to it, because once you get it, once that kind of something unlocks, something opens up, and it's just like it's fantastic. Tago Mago by Can. I mean, you guys know, obsessed with this record. There's an album, man, just blown away by. I got into it this year, really. I'm almost glad I'm getting into it now, because it's like I probably would have played it to death and been so sick of it right by now. But I'm excited about all this music that I'm getting into it now. It's just cool. So, Tom Waits, Rain Dogs. Man, what a record. When Tom Waits kind of went more experimental, more Captain Beefhearty sort of, you know, this is the best one. I bought Swordfish Trombones first and loved that record, but when I got this, man, whew, this is just so good. So glad I got this. Another example of a record that I first bought it, and this is probably, if I obsessed over a record, this one I truly obsessed over, because I was like, what the hell, what is this? I didn't like it at first. Yeah, it's just one of those records. Trot Mask Replica, Captain Beefheart. And man, I probably thought about this record more than any other. Just, I wanted to get it, you know, like there was really something to get. I mean, there is and there isn't. It's one of those albums, I think it turns out, that you got to take it for what it is, but at the same time, it's basically, I would say, a mishmash of all the history of American music kind of combined into this avant-garde, far-out, wacky album, and it's brilliant. Trot Mask Replica, I mean, Captain Beefheart's high watermark for sure. Very cool record. And this one here, another record I played to death. And if you don't, this is just, I love it. I love this record. Comus. First Utterance. This is my Bow Down record from Grease and Thunder's Thread. And man, what a fantastic, again, sort of a dark kind of folk album. But dark almost isn't, it's very menacing, very heavy. It's a frightening record. But it's beautiful and brilliant too. I mean, Diana, the opening track, whew, so good. But also that second song, The Herald, it's just gorgeous. Drip Drip is basically about, I want to say a murder, like somebody murders their lover, a woman. Your Arms, My Arms, Your Hearse, which, what was that band? Stole that. It's the name of an album by Opeth, I think. My Arms, Your Hearse, they took it from here. Song to Comus, The Bite. Just a brilliant album. Rise Above Relics. Get it, really, while you still can. And finally, the last record, the one I've definitely obsessed with more than any other. Definitely listened to, I think, more than any other. And one I'm just so glad to get is Roy Harper's Stormcock. What a fantastic record. Me and Mike, Bostonia Reggie, kind of have a running joke about this, but what a record, man. Words don't do it justice. This album gives me the chills when I listen to it still. Roy Harper, of course, of, you know, just British folk singer, really, and, you know, he sang Pink Floyd's Have a Cigar, Hats Off to Harper by Led Zeppelin. You know, it seems like his reputation is known more than his musical career, at least in the States. I don't know how this record isn't huge, or wasn't huge. Why it's so hard to find, because it is brilliant. Hands down, one of the best records in my collection. The opening song, Hors d'oeuvres. Oh my God, what a song. That's one that really gives me chills every time I hear it. The production on it, it's progressive folk, really. Same Old Rock with Jimmy Page plays on that. The guitar on that is just unbelievable. One man rock and roll band, Me and My Woman, 4 tracks. What a record, man. So, of all these records, this is the one, man. This is the one that I'm really just blown away by. You know, and right now I'm thinking of other albums that I didn't even put as an honorable mention. Because I got Caravan. If I could do it all over again, I'd do it all over you. At the same time as this, and that just completely slipped my mind. Another brilliant record. Wish I put it up there. But anyway, Stormcock. So there you go. I hope you guys enjoyed this. I hope it's not too, out there. Alright, leave me some comments, and I'll be back probably sometime this week with a new Vinyl Finds. I'm just waiting on a couple things, and that will definitely be my last one for the year. So, guys, thank you. Leave comments. Take care.